Hey, what's up everybody? Bdf 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so did everything I need to do at one spot. Now I'm walking over to the other with a little short video. But yeah, man, just want to wish everybody a fantastic day. Just do a little talking out. Really know what's gonna come out of my mouth. It's only gonna be like 5 minutes, but yeah, man, I feel really good about being local, because I did forget this Target was right next door to the Trader Joe's, and while there are some things at this Target you cannot get, just like the one in Hollywood and Highland, similar, I guess they're like mini Targets. So like there's certain things they only sell at the bigger ones, and even though the building over here is bigger, they stock it like it's small. So it doesn't matter though. The point is, things I need over here I can get over here. I think apples, I don't know if they have my apples. They got a version of them, but not the ones I like in the little baggie. So I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see. But I'm gonna go over here, see what they got. Hopefully I can stock up on a few extra things and get some shaving cream that I need. But yeah, man. What's going on? I talked so much about what was so important to speak on the last video, and it's uploading now. But you know, I just wish that we could get to a place where we're comfortable speaking about whatever's going on, regardless of who politically get hurt by us communicating what's important. And in some situations it's not feasible. Some things just irresponsible. We got to respect that. So I wouldn't take that anywhere. But as it pertains to things like genocide and, you know, the upholding of a culture of allowing for some to suffer because of their standing in the country as immigrants, I just think it's okay to like create the world for people to express themselves and still have a voice from which to use afterward. I think I would like to see the world evolve into a place where a person doesn't lose their job because they're expressing how they don't want to see people suffer in Palestine. You know what I mean? And we can't do that if we're in a space of mind to say, no, that's too political, or it's going to hurt the wrong people, or, you know, you got to face some unspoken retaliation because the people of power are going to be unhappy with that conversation. I just think that we should evolve. We should want to evolve into a space where we can have them type of conversations and still keep our jobs. Now, the thing is, some people expose themselves to be very, very depraved, and sometimes it can create for a very hostile environment. And people have such drastic differences and extreme differences. Sometimes you are happy. In fact, a lot of times you are happy you don't know what a person really thinks about certain topics. But just the same, there's a lot of information that can help us understand who around us is sane, or who around us is capable of doing unprecedented things, if we're willing to have more conversations that dig into the minds of individuals around us without it being such a threat to their overall professional standing, or standing in whatever way is ultimately political in their lives. You know, it's a lot of evidence of people being capable of doing mass shootings and capable of doing terrorist attacks and stuff like that, that we go without because of the presence of everyone unwilling to talk about politics, unwilling to talk about religion, unwilling to talk about, you know, whatever the case may be. These type of edgy conversations that can create a divide amongst people. There's also something that is created, and that's the presence of the unknown, who it is you're around and what it is they're capable of, what it is they really think, whether or not they value you as a person or not. These type of things go understood, if that's the way to word that, because we are so quick to just brush aside those conversations for the sake of our comfort. A comfort that isn't really backed by actual safety when you think about it. You know, if I know somebody doesn't care about the lives of children, the last thing I want to do is have them be a school teacher over my child. But if these type of conversations are more prevalent and more acceptable, a person like that may expose themselves, thinking that their norms are normal otherwise. That's to which we can start saying, okay, we draw the line and saying this person's a nut. Because that's what ends up happening a lot of times when you start getting in conversations with people. They don't realize that the things they think are the things that the world thinks. In a lot of cases. And would be fully willing to expose themselves and stand on their truths that expose to all of us how dangerous they are to all of us. But because we're in this space where we teach all of us to never have conversations such as these, to protect these things, we have people around us that we know for years that ultimately align with some things that we could never get with. Things that we would draw a line in the sand with in the immediate moment we meet those people. If those things are revealed to us for which they would be, if we just be more willing to have these type of conversations. It can be some good that comes from that. It could be some very bad that comes from that. But at the end of the day, I feel a lot more safe when I know what people think. When people who are willing to expose themselves are in a space where they feel comfortable enough to do so. Instead of all of us pretending like we were raised, quote unquote, right, when we all have different interpretations of what that actually means. This is how this dystopia, so to speak, is in place. Because one mask at a time, we all pretend like we all agree. When a lot of us are dying inside to expose who we really are, how we really think. For better or for worse. When I start listening to people who support genocide and what they think is morally correct, I realize they're the opposite of me. And these are people that I may have been given respect for years and years and years. Only to find out that they don't care about anybody at all that doesn't look like them. Or that they draw a line in the sand with someone's humanity based on a religious space and the things that they believe religiously, so to speak. I wouldn't want to break bread with somebody like that, and I most importantly want them to understand that I don't align with them. But if we're all walking around pretending like we all agree to the same things and afraid to have conversations that actually expose those things, you can find yourself being close friends with people that you cannot trust. Close friends with people that don't align with you morally, spiritually, emotionally, or anything. And the moment it comes time for something like that to be in play, you think you have their support, and all of a sudden they're on the wrong side of what it is you believe in. This is why I'm of the mindset that we need to start normalizing having conversations that kind of expose these type of things. So we know who we're around as human beings. But everybody's doing everything for the political and for the money and all of that. And so they're willing to bump elbows with people who maybe they don't agree with, maybe don't mean them any good. For the sake of what? For the sake of what? I don't agree with that. I don't think that makes any sense at all. Because at the end of the day, what you end up finding out is some people really support genocide. They truly want to see people suffer because they don't agree with them. Or they want to see people suffer because they're from over there and they want their people to steal their land, or some wild, wacky ideology that gets hidden in the presence of us agreeing to never have conversations about politics or religion. And then if I knew what type of thing they were on, man, I'd protect myself against that. If I knew they were this type of evil, I would never break bread with those people. If I knew they only cared about those type of children, I would never let my type of children around their type of children. But we all want to be able to do deals with one another and stuff, and we all want to have money agreements and all different types of politics and stuff like that. And we allow for our morality to just go unchecked, unnoticed, unconsidered, inconsiderate, whatever the word would be. We just don't even consider our morality. And a lot of us are raised to believe that we shouldn't care, and that's unfortunate. What is the difference? The money's agreeing either way. I don't care what he thinks. It's probably not going to even be relevant anyway until it is. Until it literally is. Then all of a sudden we find ourselves having conversations about your life mattering, my life mattering, and you got these individuals that you thought you could do business with, supporting the suffering of your people or supporting the suffering of those people for the sake of their own religion. What? I don't want to take a coin from those people. I don't want to work for them. I don't want to be around them. I don't want to break bread with them. I don't want them breaking bread with me. I don't feel safe around them, and I don't want to be confused about whether or not I should. And so that's where I'm at as it pertains to the American way of doing things. That culture of we don't don't ask, don't tell, as pertains to religion and ideologies and stuff like that. The context, this genocide has brought about a certain context and make me re-examine how that works for me. It doesn't. When I thought every religion was somewhat what I thought it was, and the context is to just respect people's differences, and that's all that matters. Everybody's different. We all have a way of believing or not believing, but at the end of the day, we all need to live amongst one another as friends and all that. That was before I realized there was an entire race of people who literally wanted to kill another race of people just because they have something written in a book. And they believe it's okay to treat those people terrible systematically by way of that religion. And we're all supposed to agree with it because how the hell am I gonna get along with them? That go along, get along don't work when somebody has that ideology, man. When they're happy with the suffering of children and believe lies about themselves being victims when they're doing nothing but hurting people, how in the hell am I supposed to look at them and say, well, man, I just leave them alone, they leave me alone, and we're gonna be fine? But people are happy seeing people dying. There ain't no way I'm gonna be able to sit still if I knew this about them. But see, this is the problem. This is why what we do doesn't work. This is why those who are spiritually inclined can't just go along with the Western ideology way of doing things, because what it ends up doing is letting evil slip through the cracks. It lets it slip all the way through the cracks, and you find yourself bumping elbows, taking checks from people that want to see a knife in your back. It doesn't work. So I'm here to tell y'all that does not work. So that's what I want to say, man. America, I'm telling you, man, the dystopia of y'all behavior as it pertains to this genocide, the dystopia of y'all behavior as it pertains to this the immigration process has really showed me that I don't think the things that y'all do to make it so that y'all get along actually make it so that you get along. You just stay blissfully ignorant to the things that ultimately make it so that you likely should stay away from one another in some cases. Some stuff, if somebody shows you this, you stay away from them, or you go to war with them in some cases, depending on what the situation is. Person say the only thing that they can accept is people hurting children, and damn it, you go to war with those people. You don't break bread with them. Let's just be clear. Can't get along in every area with everyone when this is the context that's revealed to us. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work. You could try to make it work, but eventually you just find yourself in a stupor without the urgency necessary to meet what is necessary to save children. That's all it boils down to. That's what it's proven. As long as the money's green, as long as the bank is open, we'll take a check from anybody. Like, no, at this point in time, no. Some people need to be challenged and checked for the ideologies that they hold based on the depravity of humanity within those ideologies. And we need to understand that as we go forward. It ain't just as simple as just being cool with anybody because they have differences. No, some people's differences are weaponized against other people, and they victimize people based on their beliefs. This is something that we need to work into our equation going forward as we continue to try to make light of whatever broad differences we may have with one another. So long as we stay in the dark, we can just make light of it. I don't think that works. I think we're proving in the space of what it is that we're seeing that that doesn't work anymore. And some people believe things that are not okay. They're not okay, they're not going to be okay, and if we go along with it, we're not going to be okay because of it. Bdf 44, thank y'all for watching. I'm out.